once, you know, games are released or about to be released, there's a lot that happens from a marketing and promotion standpoint. You know, when you see these games come out and you see, you know, they've collaborated with another brand to be able to do something, or even something that we did with Community a couple years ago when the Space Jams movie came out from Warner Brothers, and there was an associated game with that. We did a competition with the HBCU students. The two top players got to fly out to LA for the premiere and walk the red carpet for Space Jams. But that entire thing was a whole, you know, set of marketing and sponsorship and brand partnership people that worked on that, and none of those people ever touched coding in a day in their life. So there's just so many opportunities all around gaming.
And I actually love this question. Again, just within my work, I get a chance to learn more about the gaming industry. So one thing I actually do is compare it to other spaces that we understand innately, especially within our community, which is music, right? And so first thing, it's important to understand the difference between gaming and esports, right? So esports is a subset of the gaming industry, but esports is a $2 billion industry within inside the larger $200 billion industry, right? And so a couple things I want you guys to go home and tell your parents. Gaming is bigger than music and film combined from a revenue perspective, right? And so let's think about it similar to music, though, as it relates to the artist and the producer. We all understand they make the art, whether they go independent or whether they go to the major label, right? They make the art, they can drop it on SoundCloud and YouTube independently, or they can go to the majors, get it distributed, get the big marketing budget like you mentioned as well. You know, in the music world, live events are called what? Concerts, right? And so just understanding that, people say, okay, I get it. Gaming's the same thing. You have the game developer, the game designer, they create the art, right? The game designer can create anything from the sound effects down to the cover of the actual game, but they can go independent. Among Us is an independent game that got really big, right? Yeah. 3 people made Among Us, and think about how many people have played that since, right? And other games that are, if you will, to the majors, think about like a big game, Fortnite, that's owned by Epic Games, right? Just understanding more about the industry. But in the gaming world, there aren't concerts for live events. It's called esports. That's what live events is in gaming. It's esports, right? So just understanding even the hardware side, people make the actual consoles and controllers that you play on every day, as well as the software side. I had a young man who said, I'm really interested in being a software engineer. I don't want to be a game developer. I said, okay, solve a problem for gamers, and I promise you'll have more fun, right? And there's a team that created this thing called Discord, right, that we all know and love, but it's not an actual game, but they solved a problem for gamers. So think about the gaming industry similar to the music industry or other spaces that have, just think more of an ecosystem. You don't have to do the one job of creating the game. You know, you don't have to be an esports player. You could be someone who says, I'll create an app that solves a problem for communication. And I think the last thing I'll use is another example. A gentleman in LA created a company just for high school esports, just to organize gameplay. So he didn't create a game, he didn't even create, if you will, the esport, but he said, I'm gonna organize this gameplay amongst high school across the country, and in 2 years had a $100 million valuation, right? So just understanding that how to navigate the industry is the biggest opportunity anyone in this room could really take a hold of.
And if I could add one more thing, just to piggyback on, you know, he mentioned music, audio, but he also said sound effects. And I just wanted to tell y'all this, I really want you to expand your mind. I had the pleasure last week of going by 10 Turn Studios, who make Forza, the racing game. And I met the audio engineers, and their sole job is to fly around the world and capture audio from engines of various cars. And then also to get the realistic sound of crashing, they go out into the desert, and in Mojave Desert, and they're able to crash cars and just have mics that's capturing the sound. I mean, all the things that make games realistic, think about it, there's some job behind it, and there's a lot of opportunities for y'all.
I love that. Now I got to learn how to crash cars. So if you can add one class or one program to schools to help students enter the gaming industry, what would that be? Class.
I would add a course around like game development, but mixed with AI. And I say AI because that is the future. That is where we're going. So if we want all of y'all to be prepared to make a big impact in the industry in the future, we should be teaching y'all now how to use the tools. So I feel like the course would like have you learning game development, design, learning how to use AI applications to make your games better. You would have like real projects where you're developing a game with your classmates. So you're getting started on your portfolio while you're in school. Yeah, that's a course that I feel like that should be taught now. I don't know if it is. If it's out there, let me know.
Go ahead.
I'd say business management, if you will, gaming business management, because two things are true in regards to creating a business. You're going to either innovate something new or create something more efficient, right? So understanding the businesses that exist within gaming, that's an opportunity for everyone to say, I think I could do that better, right? I think honestly, it's for each one of us to always pursue things that pique our interest, right? So I say it like this: if you follow the things that interest you, you probably have a greater awareness about the thing, right? Whether it's anime, whether it's, again, software engineering, legal, a legal or law practice, if you have a greater awareness around it, you more than likely have the ability to, if you will, add value to someone else's perspective, right? And so your ability to add value to that perspective, it leaves you with the opportunity to extract value, right? So that's really how business works. Even if you aren't the business owner, understanding what the overall purpose of, if you will, the interaction or the transaction is, gives you an opportunity to say, I think I can do that better, maybe as a job, or I think I can take over that whole process better as a business owner. So really, that would change really our understanding of even what we want to do based on how we see how the world works.
Yeah, a little similar, and for some of y'all, this may not click in your head, but I really want you to think about it. Yes, we're talking about how you can get careers in gaming. But as young people nowadays, you really need to have an entrepreneurial mindset. Things are changing, you know what I mean? And how you can build yourself as your own brand, your own company, and things of that sort to have ownership. It's one thing to work somewhere, but it's also something different to own. So for me, I think it would be cool if there was a class that taught you, from the game studio down. So if you understand how a studio functions, who creates the game, who then has all of the jobs, you know what I mean? You start to actually learn the things that you want to do later in life. You actually can start to learn them a little bit earlier. And that will really change your mindset as you go in. Yes, your early career, you may start off as a job, but remember all the things that you were taught on if you were running your own studio. It will really accelerate just your whole career pathway if we can give that to kids at an early age.
When I was in higher ed, there was a program called High Skip. I don't know if it's still running. It's the high school internship program. You would go to a college as a junior or senior in high school, and you would take a college-level course at a participating university. And in a city like this, there's plenty of opportunities for that. I think that program would be a great model where we actually get students to get into programs where there are esports teams, where there are gaming classes and courses that get you out of your school, out of your neighborhood, get you into these spaces where the people who are doing what it is you think you may want to do are actually at, right? That's what makes it real. Inside the classroom, we can learn all the theory, but I think for a lot of young people, making the direct connection comes from seeing people, especially people who look like you, doing that next step of activity or learning that you are actually interested in doing, and connecting and networking with those folks. It was an amazingly successful program, and it would require funding and maybe sponsors, universities waiving the tuition so that you guys could do it. But the key would be you would come back with your exposure to the application of the math course you don't like, and the application of the business class you might have been a little sleepy in, right? And that connection, that connective tissue is like, wait a minute, this thing I'm learning here in this class that I didn't think was that fun here at my school has a real application out here in this real world environment that I'm learning through this high skip program. So any opportunities you get to take courses perhaps at a community college or a university, do internships, externships, there's plenty of those. I think those are the most valuable opportunities you have because it puts a different light on what you are going through right now to graduate in the course that you chart coming out of high school, going into college.
And I just want to add one more point about, I know we're talking about courses and classes and whatnot, but it doesn't need to be that deep. And I understand if there's like educators out here, it may be intimidating to think about starting a whole new course or class for your school, but there could be like little small steps that you can do going back to like leveraging your schoolwork to help build your portfolio. Like if you have to write a report in your history class, you can write a report about the history of a game that you love or a game designer that you admire or something. Like leverage your schoolwork to help you build your portfolio so that when you're out of school and when you're ready to pursue a career, you already have something to show for it.
What she said, y'all.
Thank you. These are some gems right here. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about the future. So do you think that VR, AR, and some of the other new technologies, I know you mentioned AI as well, are going to change the way that we play games forever?
I would say absolutely. Once again, as someone who works directly with publishers and developers who make games, I've found that a lot more of the publishers and developers that I'm working with have been partnering with companies such as like Meta to make new exciting games, even different variations of older games that have been very successful for them. I've seen a big uptick in that, and I can only see that continuing to grow in the future as the technology advances.
Yeah, I would say twofold. One, things like AI is really going to help to speed up the development of games, you know, able to collaborate, just be able to create things a lot faster than before. So that's one. So hopefully we get to see more games, you know, more frequently. But then, you know, how is AI, you know, actually, you know, embedded into the games? How do you have those non-playable characters that now kind of come to life and things of that sort, and really change the experience so that, you know, literally every time, you know how it is, you get to a certain level and it's the exact same and that guy's just standing there and he just never does anything. But imagine, you know, every time that you're playing, you're almost getting a different experience. You know what I mean? It really will change how involved and engaged you can get with games.
You're absolutely right. There are a few games. I wish I could name the titles off the top, but, you know, they're, if you will, like the opponent or the enemy itself learns your play style throughout the game, right? So if you're, you know, kind of like the hit and evade type, it's going to learn that and, you know, actually adjust in real time. So that's a whole nother piece.
I don't like that at all.
I know, right?
I want to win.
And then other titles, you know, I think I just saw something on LinkedIn. Cyberpunk, you know, just released again inside of VR, and they're like, it's a whole new thing, right? Because they still have that big budget to really turn it into something new. So absolutely, I think, you know, the technology is going to not only advance how we engage with games, how games are, if you will, developed, but then also how they're consumed, 100%.
And I'll also add that there's some work that we're doing even internally at Xbox, leveraging AI to help with game safety, like making sure that you feel safe, comfortable in the communities that you're in, leveraging the AI technology to weed out people that are harassing players, people that not necessarily in the game for the right reasons. AI is helping us do that as well.
Thank you. So this is the last question, you guys, and this one I think might be the most important. What advice would you give to young women or minority students looking to break into the gaming industry?
Let me jump in as well. So again, our organization, Community Foundation, you know, of course, partners with community media on a number of different events. But let's first talk about community itself. If you look at the spelling somewhere around the room, you'll see the CX, right? And what does that mean? What does that stand for? And so one thing that we actually don't get a chance to do is share this often, but the X is the one button that's consistent across all buttons and controllers, right? So Xbox, PlayStation, PC, even in Nintendo, right? And so whether you're shooter game, racing game, whether you're black, white, whether you're boy, girl, indifferent, we want to make sure community itself, you know, if you will, is that nexus for you to also be able to just, you know, express yourself and also pursue your dreams. And so through that on a regular basis, to answer your question for, you know, either a young lady or anyone who considers themselves a minority, it's really important to, like you shared as well, Hilton, is find your community, find other people who think like you, but then also I say it's still going to be important to articulate your goals, right? You being able to identify your goals, articulate your goals, and then use your specific experience as a part of your strength, right? Your experience is going to be something that other people can't necessarily relate or say that they lived through and through, but other people will be able to say they relate to, right? And so be bold about how you present yourself, but also, like Darrell said as well, start to build your brand in general. That's going to be important no matter who you are and, if you will, what demographic you come from. So it will be important to start with those things of understanding, you know, still being able to pursue your goal, identifying your goals, finding your community, and being bold in your pursuits as well.
Yeah, a couple things, especially on the building the brand and portfolio. Nowadays, you gotta separate yourself from everyone. So just hey, I'm finished college, I got a degree, but if you have a blank resume and a blank portfolio, you're no different than the next person. And when you're dealing with anything that involves tech, including gaming, there's no excuse that you can't get some experience on your own. If it's game development, you can build some game yourself, iterate on it, put it somewhere so someone can see it and just be able to at least have something to show. The other thing I want to say is get out of your head and thinking that, these game studios, these publishers, or, the console creators like us and Xbox don't want you all there just because you don't see a lot of you there now. The truth of the matter is all of these companies want more diverse talent in their buildings, but they may have trouble finding them. That's that's something that needs to be improved. But then also you got to do your part and go seek those things. Nobody's rolling up to Southwest DC and saying, hey, you want to go work at this game studio. You got to join those communities, like they said, and like literally communities, Discord. Just the different opportunities that are online, so that you can be really in tune for all of the internships that's happening and things of that sort, and really go after these positions.
I would say that everybody in this room, compared to everybody on this stage, is a advanced tech native, right? You guys don't understand technology in the same way we do because it's not technology to you. You were born into a world of touchscreen technology. You don't know a world without that. To us, that's an innovation. Like, oh, I remember clicking buttons. Right? I remember phones were everywhere in the house. They had a cord, right? I remember having to hit the button 50 times if I wanted to send a text message. Those kind of things are tech to us. You have an advantage in these markets because all of this technology is moving faster than we can educate ourselves. We rely on you as the next generation to come in with that unique understanding of what the market and the emerging markets are going to want, right? Unfortunately, because you're tech native, sometimes you guys get into a mindset that this is something I love to do. This is something that is personal to me. And therefore, I want to separate it from my job or separate it from my career path because I don't want to sully my very deep personal experience with this art or with this technology that I love with making it something I do for work. Whereas this generation on the stage was raised to say, if you find something that you're good at, if you find something that you love and you can attach that to a career path, you'll never work another day in your life, right? That has been lost on a lot of you in your generation and all of you coming up. So it's really, really important for you guys to kind of open yourselves up to understand that the mission that you have is to take the skills, take the loves, take the talents that you have and apply them into the job market, apply them into your entrepreneurial business models. Don't feel like you have to separate those two things because, quite frankly, I think a lot of us, if not everybody on the stage, loves what we do. And we know people who go to work every day and do stuff they don't love to do. And this is a field that we get really enthusiastic about because we see so many of you going into these fields, falling in love with your creativity and everything that you would be able to do in these spaces. And that is why we want you guys to get involved. So don't hit the brakes. Don't say, don't let anybody doubt you or build any self-doubt in you. What you do and what you are building at your stage is really, really important.
Whew, that's a lot to follow up, y'all. I don't know if I don't know how much more I can add to that, but I am passionate about this topic, so I do have a few things. First and foremost, I do want to reiterate what Darrell said. It's really, like, you should really, your uniqueness, your diversity is your biggest asset, and it is desperately needed in this industry. Don't ever forget that. Know that you are needed, know that you are desired, know that you are in demand. Another thing that I will say is mentorship and allyship. Those are things that can really help propel you as well. Like, find someone that's willing to invest in you, willing to guide you throughout your journey, that is your mentor, and find people that do not look like you, who are invested in bringing more people that look like you into the industry, that is your ally. I would not have been able to move over from finance and accounting into gaming, which is definitely a career that I love, if it wasn't for allies and mentors who are willing to take a chance on me, willing to guide me, and willing to really encourage encouraged me to be myself and have the courage to do what I love for a living. So I would say those two things. And then one other thing is like just remain consistent and resilient. It's not necessarily going to be easy to accomplish your dreams, to get into gaming, to have the careers that we have. But you'll find one thing that is consistent with us is that we always remain consistent. We always remain persistent. We had resilience, and whenever like a door closes or someone tells you no, just use that as motivation because you know what you can do. You know what you're capable of.
Well, real quick, I just want to make sure they get this point.
Trying to get me in trouble.
I know. They want you all there, and you want to know why? Because they're building the games for you. You're the consumers. That's who they're making these games for, and they can't make these games that you all like unless people like you all are on the other side actually in the building making them. So just keep that in mind.
Thank you guys so much. Put your hands together for this amazing panel. I hope you guys learned something. Awesome. So now we're going to go back to Christina.
All right, you guys give it up one more time for this amazing panel. Thank you so much, Tiana. All right, so listen, y'all, we're gonna take a quick break. For those in the venue, y'all stay in y'all's seats. We have some more, so listen, I need y'all to check out the center screen for some amazing Kickback content. And for those watching on the live stream, we'll be right back for more with the Kickback, powered by Xfinity.
I attended Oakville University. I'm the founder and CEO of Community Media and also co-founder and partner of the Kickback with the mission to increase minority representation in the esports and video game space and also future-proof diversity in that space through competition and careers. Gaming is a huge STEM pillar within the public school and private school system. How do we raise the awareness so more, specifically Black gamers, know that there's opportunities to make money, to get jobs in this industry as well?
There are a lot of people that play video games, so there are not a lot of people that actually get into tech, but I'm here to tell you, like, it is possible to do this.
The reason you do not see a lot of people of color in STEM-based careers and or in the gaming industry as a part of like the STEM ecosystem is really those who have access to consoles versus those who have access to computers. This for us was like an issue we realized in Atlanta. We've been able to build out esports labs to then get them computers. These developers that are looking to hire minority talent that have STEM-based backgrounds. But before all that can happen, you know, people of color need to know that this is actually a thing.
Community Media and HBCU Esports is helping to lead that diversity from a cultural standpoint to make sure that we, as a Black culture, we can put our stamp on esports and gaming. My name is Warren Davis. I'm the CFO for Community Media Co. Now it's time to take it to another level. And to do that, you need to have all the voices that make up the community heard. And that's what Community is looking to do.
One of the biggest disparities in the industry is access. Chris PA, one of the co-founders and chief marketing officer for Community Media. I attended North Carolina Central University, Eagle Pride. Kickback essentially formed, a group of students. Now they could have one-on-one conversations with gaming executives within the industry. They can also compete and play live to win scholarship money. One thing that we do on our nonprofit side is like parent education, where we're teaching the parents the ins and outs of the industry at the same time that we're teaching those students. So we have a career readiness program for the students, and we also have a career readiness, like a workshop for the parents as well, so that they can learn what their students are doing and then the opportunities that exist within the industry.
The hope is that 7th, 8th, 9th through 12th graders are like, wow, I didn't realize that I can get scholarships to compete in various esports at universities. And that's kind of like the big lens of what we're hoping will happen at the Kickback. We see like this new shift and new ecosystem being developed like literally right before our eyes.
Love to game? With Xfinity, you can upgrade your speed to keep slaying zombies like it's your day job. It is my day job.
Upgrade your internet speed for the ultimate gaming experience. Bring on the good stuff.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Kickback. Y'all, we are just getting started. And first, I got to make sure I shout out to all of our partners. I got to show some love to Microsoft and, of course, Xfinity. They are doing their thing. And, of course, our community partners, Blurred, TextGiving, UNCF, District E, Beatbotics, Howard University, and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Beta Chapter. Y'all, we're going to have an amazing day. I know y'all saw the schedule, so it's going to be crazy lit. All right, so listen, if you've ever thought about being a full-time content creator, who want to be a full-time content creator in the building? Raise those hands. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. Listen, we brought together a blend of creators and streamers with Supreme Sensei, True Brand, Miss Ash Rocks, and Christian Isaiah to discuss the latest trends in creating content for a living. And y'all, they get this money, okay? To crack this topic wide open, please welcome back to the stage, Tiana Denise.
Hey guys, we're back. Are y'all ready for this panel? This is going to be so exciting. So we're going to talk about content creation for entertainment and gaming. And we're going to start with Supreme Sensei.
Hello, everyone. Now, I know the first panel, very professional, but we content creators, so we a little ghetto. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have a little more fun, you know what I'm saying? We love them, but like this going to be a little bit more relaxed, so don't feel too much. But my name is Supreme Sensei, also known as Mother. I'm a content creator, and the kind of content I make is really dance. I do Fortnite emotes, a lot of dance, and I do language content, so I speak over 4 languages. I do that, and I also read books and make book content. So, yeah.
Yo, what's up? I'm Troop. Troop Brand. I go by Troop. I'm an artist and CEO at Trap Sushi. And in Trap Sushi, we have an influencer arm where we work with a lot of content creators and help them get like deals and basically get paid.
I'm Miss Ash Rocks. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm a Twitch partner and Twitch ambassador. You'll find me on my channel playing games, doing lifestyle content. We're going to dabble into IRL streaming here soon. So, yeah, you can find me on all socials at Miss Ash Rocks.
And my name is Christian Isaiah. I'm an actor. I play Liam in Shameless, and I do content creation as well. I'm part of this gaming community called Centric Gaming, and yeah. Pretty much what I do. I just act, entertain, and do my thing.
I love it. All right, let's jump right in. So what's the most creative or unexpected way that you've seen someone make their mark in content creation? And you can say yourself too.
Oh, you know what? We talked about that. We was like, that sound real.
Yes, yes.
That sound real cocky. You know, I don't want to. I have a lot of. We all have a lot of content creator friends, and just like there's just so many different ways. We got Keats, started off with planets, like just talking about like how the planets would interact, and there's just so many. But I will say like one of my favorites might be King Vader. And he does he created his own films, like anime type films, just like on a budget though, like just start off with like filming with your iPhone, like just these special effects. And it's just crazy to see like how far he's come, and he's from the DMV. So, I had to shout that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say is some of the ones that I've seen is like, that I'm just like, yo, this just crazily stuck out to me. It's 3 things. The people that are like, and these are things I all love, that just cook food and they've like gone viral and all they do is cook food. I'm like, yo, that's so amazing. Dancing, like that's fire. I can't dance. And then the third thing, just playing video games. I'm like, yo, y'all playing video games and y'all got a whole career in content creation doing this? Like, so my mama lied. She said I could never make a career playing video games, but you actually can. So those are the 3.
Of course, when I think about myself, I started off just wanting to play games and just build a community. Nothing too serious, real cutesy, nothing crazy.
Very demure.
I had to pull it, mindful. I started in 2016 December, and then I said, wait, I can make this a career, and then I started dabbling into different industries, lifestyle, skincare, makeup, cosplay, all of that. But I think we got to give some love to Kai Cenat. he said, you know, I'm not going to go to school anymore, y'all. I'm taking a big leap. I'm just going to start this content creation journey. And now look at him, killing it and representing black men in a space.
I would definitely say more of the live streaming cooking. I don't know, like you said, cooking that people, it's like people who can't cook that try to cook is so funny to me.
You're
like,
right.
It's like, cause it's not their profession, but they just gonna try it. And I love to see them really try. I love that. That's my favorite.
Can you cook?
Oh, I can cook for sure.
No, that's cap. We ain't talking about scrambled eggs and bacon.
No, I'll cut a little steak and
talking
rice, some steak and rice,
Okay,
some,
okay.
like, you know what I'm saying, some shrimp. Yeah.
Where's your mama?
Where mama at?
Can
My
you-
Dukes, where you at, my Dukes?
Mama, can you
Where my Dukes at?
confirm this information?
My Dukes right there. See, my Dukes, no, see, my
Okay,
Dukes.
confirmed.
I can cook. Appreciate it, my Dukes.
I love that. So what's something about the business side of content creation that you wish you had known when you first started?
Okay. The money.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, like, depending on where you come in at, I was watching this Australian streamer called Creator, and I was like, he's streaming on Twitch and he getting all these subs. I was like, that's easy. I can do that. It ain't that easy. I mean, for like months, I probably had like 1-2 viewers, and that was like a drought. And I was like, this is very discouraging. So I guess like the facade of just like, oh, it's like you gonna make money all of a sudden, it's like, it don't work that way. And I wish I knew that, because then maybe I would have taken a different route. Like, I spent all my refund checks from college to build up my whole entire setup, get my PC and my monitors. It was like, girl, you did all of that, and it ain't nobody in here. So the money ain't coming back. And that's just like important, because you obviously doing it to get money, and still got to work a 9-to-5 and all these, you know, some of us still have to work a 9-to-5 and do this just to kind of get the content going, so.
For me, I guess it's like, I wish I would have known from the jump that you, how to negotiate, like, you know, like when you're working with somebody or like with brands, and they're like, hey, you know, this is what we need, you know, here's the rate, you know, you don't have to accept the first thing that's put in your face. You know what I mean? You can always ask for more, or, you know, to do less, you know. You can always negotiate to get the terms more favorable in your favor. So yeah, I wish I would have known that first starting, you know. Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, money. It's still money.
Money, yes.
No, to piggyback off that, always ask for more. They can just tell you no.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have a rate for $1,500 to do a stream, can we make it $2K? Oh, sure. Yeah, we can fit in 500 extra bucks. Ask. If it's a no, it's a no. And if it doesn't work for you, you don't have to take it either. But to go back to the question, reading contracts. Read everything. Okay. Because I've had some contracts that I signed, you know, using my exclusivity for a year. I thought it was for a month. And then the rate doesn't match the exclusivity rights. Read your contracts, because it's very important. And learning analytics. I wish I learned how to read analytics earlier in my career, because it would be much different now. Now I'm late in the game trying to learn Instagram, analytics, TikTok. I'm like, I got to post on all these platforms at once, YouTube and stream. So do it now, learn it now, okay? And there's so many free videos on YouTube and TikToks and Reels that are telling you about analytics.
I would say I wish I started way earlier than I did. I mean, I know I'm only 16, but I wish I would have started a little earlier. Because it's just all the stuff I needed to learn. Like, Supreme already knew a lot of stuff, so I was like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? But it was like, watching videos wasn't for me. I wish it was just people that I knew it already. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I just need that type of people to help me that's already been in it. But I wish I would have started way earlier, figured it out. I started literally my friends like, yo, just hit the stream, go on this link, pop it up so we can watch. And I was like, all right, cool. And then everybody was like, yo, other people are watching it too. I was like, I don't know these people. So it's like, okay. But yeah, I mean, you just honestly gotta, no is okay. Like, no is genuinely okay. One no, you know, take constructive criticism. Don't just go down and stuff. Just always keep going, keep motivated, stay motivated, and just keep going.
16 is not way early.
No, not at all.
I was going to jump in and add one more thing about negotiating. A trick that I learned is if you're trying to figure out how much to charge or how much to ask for somebody, if you send a rate and they immediately give you a yes, I think your price is too low.
Yes, that's a good one
Yo,
right there.
so it's
That's a
like,
gym.
Yeah, I wanna if you're trying to figure out, oh, how much should I charge for this, and you say a price, and they're like, okay, well, let me go talk to my team about it. Then it's like, okay, cool. Like now but if they say yes immediately, it's like, dang.
No, that's true. That is a bar right there. So I love this question. How do you handle negative comments or criticism online? Well, I hear them laughing in the audience, so y'all know.
Listen, let me tell you something. So I told y'all I do Fortnite emotes. And Fortnite is it's y'all. I don't know how, I'm assuming ages here, let's say from 12 to 16, right? That's the age demographic that I got on my Instagram, and they be cooking me. But let me tell you something. I cook back. I will pin the negative comments so that my other followers will cook them too. Like, we all just gonna jump you. Because if you say like, oh, this is corny, it's corny, bet. I'm gonna let the whole row see. I'm gonna put you on the stage. That's like how I do. You know, now some people would say that's toxic, but it's just like, hey, you get to play, you get to troll. I control too. You know, I'm not taking no offense. You're on the internet. You would never say that to me in person. I've been walking around this whole thing. Ain't nobody come up to me and say, hey, you corny. You know, like, yeah. And if you do, I mean, I'm going to just eat it. You know what I'm saying? take it to the chin.
I mean, I definitely will log off or get offline. I've definitely been in a situation. I'm like, oh, yo, I'm getting cooked right now. Boop. And I'm like, I'm off. I gotta go take a break. Let me go touch grass. I can't right now. I have to separate myself from it every now and then mentally prepare myself. Like, all right, I know what I left when I was on here. Let me get back on here. Let me see if they still cooking me or not. And, sometimes just leave it alone for a little bit. Yeah.
Gotta reset it.
Make content out of it, okay? I'm telling you, there's always this person coming on my stream. Oh, are you black?
Ooh.
I'm like, am I? I don't know. Let me go ask my mom. Mom, am I black? You know, we just make fun content out of it. And if it's not me, it's my community. They cook like scorched, burnt, and they never come back again. But yeah, it's hard. It's going to be hard, especially being a black femme in a space. Ooh, why am I getting emotional? Oh. Anyway, I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I've been streaming since 2016 December. I've been on the internet since middle school on Instagram. I've seen it all. It's going to hurt, okay, especially being a marginalized individual, but you just got to let yourself feel the next day, get back up on your feet, because that's initially what they want you to do. They want you to stay off the internet. They want you to go away. They don't want to see you killing it out in these streets, okay? So stay with it and stay true to yourself and love yourself first before anything.
Yes, love that. That's a bar.
I would say I get 2 different sizes of negative comments. So on my Instagram or something, it'll be dealing with acting. They'd be like, you can't act. Try a different hobby. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So I'd be like, all right, thank you for the constructive criticism. I'll take it later and deal with it. And then if I'm on a game streaming, they'd be like, oh, stick to acting. You can't do this, that, and the third. I'm like, I just dropped you off. Try again. So I tell them to spin again. I get an extra 30 minutes out of that. They just keep wanting to spin back on 2K. Y'all don't want no work on 2K, but I'm just saying, y'all don't want no work. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just, you got to deal with it. I mean, they going to say something because that's where they want to be.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to, congratulate you. They just always know how to put you down. So it's kind of like one of those things where you just take it, just roll with it, keep going.
So on the flip side, because we got a little bit of time, what are some of the most positive comments that you've gotten? Or some that, one that sticks with you?
I mean, somebody saying they appreciate, with me specifically, oh, I appreciate what you're doing for the anime community and the cosplay community. So that, that resonates with me. I'm like, okay, that's gas. Let me keep going. You know what I mean? Put some gas in the tank,
I would say it's mostly kids my age. They'd be like, dang, I really didn't know there were kids that were in it. Because you could always see somebody be like, oh, they look like a kid, but they be adults. But they never seen a real child that's really in there. But I love that. How do you get into it? And I always happy to give them some game in acting or just in anything to help them. I don't want nobody to stop. I'd rather help somebody else grow.
Yeah.
This sounds really bad. I told y'all my comments are not nice, but so I see a lot more negative comments or just because I leave the floor open for everyone's opinions, because again, I'm posting like Fortnite emotes, like, did y'all like this one? And it's always either I liked it or I didn't. But I think like just in general, people, like, because I do dance and I'm a professional dancer, and so when I post the actual video of me dancing and not just doing a Fortnite emote, they're like, oh, what, you can actually dance? Because you're like, there's emotes, there's TikTok dances, you know, but then there's like actually counting an 8 count and dancing, like performing at Howard Theater, like all these things that I've done. So when I put it out there, they'd be like, oh, you can actually dance, and that makes me feel good. It's like, yes, like I'm glad you know now. Like, yes, I've been trying to tell y'all I can dance. So those make me feel good for sure.
Just overall, my community saying thank you for streaming today, thank you for waking up today. Those small things, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to keep going. There's people here that are relying on me, and they want to see me win, and I want to see everybody else win. So yeah, even when my community says good morning, anything, just small things, y'all. It just puts a smile on my face. But specifically when other younger black girls, black femmes just say, thank you for doing what you do. I'm like, this is why I do it, to pave the way for y'all. Everyone here, I do this. And that's why I'm here on this panel, to talk about my experience so you learn and do it better than me.
Yeah, that's dope.
I love that. I just wanted to give some positivity, you know? Yeah. So let's hop back into the questions. So what tips do you have for building a supportive community around your content?
I mean, being transparent, I guess. Like, I feel like that's kind of how I got I call them ninjas, because obviously Supreme Sensei. So my community I call ninjas with a Z. And just being transparent, like, the days that I don't feel like streaming, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It ain't happening. I did not eat today. I'm not feeling good. And like just being transparent with like just off the butt, like in Discord and saying that, they come back and like, it's okay. Or they'll be like, girl, now you need to go live. Like, and it just kind of builds like that relationship, and then you grow more and you just set the tone. Like when they come into your streams or they come on your page, they kind of already can tell like what energy you're giving. Obviously, I troll a lot, so they know that they can kind of tease me. Like, that's just, I don't know. I think most streamers have, like, half of your moderators are your worst enemy. Like, they're the ones that hate you the most, but they love you. But, you know, so just, that's kind of what I did. Like, really, the transparency, being honest, and telling them all my business. Now, that's not for everybody. Some people are more personal, but I'd be like, y'all have it all. Like, this is what I do. I'm walking my dogs today. You know, like, just kind of giving everything.
I mean, I would say consistency. You know what I mean? If you're really trying to build a community, like the more you put yourself out there, the more that people that like what you do are going to gravitate towards you. So really just being consistent, you know what I mean? If you're just getting started, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do it once a week, but do it once a week. Stay on that. Stand on that. You know, if you're going to do it like every day, stand on that. Do it every day. But I mean, being consistent so people know like, oh, they're always online at this time. They're going to start tuning in. And they're going to start following you. Then other people are going to do the same, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. But just keeping at it, you know, it's going to get hard. You know, like you said, sometimes it be, you know, negative comments, but push through it. Get the plan in your head, stick to what you're holding true, and just keep going and keep doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think staying consistent is number one, and however consistent looks for you, if it's once a week, if it's twice a week, you got to let people know where to find you. I'm not telling you to have a strict schedule, but at least make your schedule every week. Post it on Instagram stories, post it on Twitter, in your Discord, because if they can't find you and they don't know when, they won't show up, all right? I have so many of my community members that put my streams on their calendar. They put this panel on their calendar. They're like, what time, Ash? What time is it at? Yeah, like.
So they're watching right now?
Hey y'all. I know my mom is. Mama rocks. I love you.
Hey,
but,
shout out to mom.
Yeah, you just got to stay consistent and be your authentic self. Just be you. You don't need to be a carbon copy of someone else. As much as I would like to be as cool as him, I can't be him, you know? Like, I can't be an actor and a gamer. Like, man. But, yeah, just be your authentic self, and you will see those people gravitate towards you. And, again, if you're a troll, they'll troll with you and just have a good time.
I would say there's people that definitely motivate you to do things. Because sometimes I just don't want to stream, but, like, my mom be like, yo, you streaming today? I'd be like, I'm not. She'd be like, you going to get on the game? I'm like, I am. She's like, so why don't you just hit the stream? And then Supreme was like, why aren't you streaming? no, I just don't feel like it. She's like, stream, just click it. I was like, you're right. I think it's always people that help you, motivate you to keep going. There's so many people out there that just like, they're by themselves doing it. There's somebody out there that really wants to see you, go to the top. So I think it's always just have a good team behind you.
I love that. Thank you. So if somebody wants to be on the cutting edge of content creation, what should they focus on learning now?
On the cutting edge?
The cutting edge.
I mean, I would say like editing, like the editing skills you can do on your phone. Like, what is it? CapCut?
CapCut.
CapCut. Yeah, like using those programs so you can just like quickly edit something on the go. Because I mean, if you like out and you like, dang, that'll make a dope, video or a TikTok. Being able to just do it yourself quickly and not having to wait on somebody else, I think that's gonna put you on the cutting edge. Like,
And it saves a little coin too,
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm sure you guys know this term, and this is going to sound crazy, but I promise this is what I did. You gotta have internet brain, like brain rot, like real bad. Like, you need to be on TikTok, Instagram. Like, I know it sounds crazy, and y'all are in school, so be careful. School first, and then brain rot later, okay? Yeah? But, like, learning the trends. Like, you should know what's the hottest TikTok dance right now. Like, if I had to ask y'all should be able to get up and do it right now. Like, y'all should be able to know what that dance is. And if you don't know what it is, it's definitely the... someone's like, whoop, 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 yeah, that one. So it's like, you should be able to know that. Or like, when Miss Astrox was like very cutesy and everybody's like, oh yeah, we know that. Like, you need to know the trends, like what is trending, because that's really what takes it. Like, that's literally what takes the cake, and how most people end up blowing up because they hopped on a trend, and you just make it your own. You don't gotta do the same exact thing. You don't have to do the dance, but you gotta somehow make it your own and how it speaks to your community or who your target audience would be. If it's young children, if it's, people that are in college, whatever that is, you just, make it work.
And the sounds, which sounds.
Oh my gosh, yes. You should know the sounds.
Yeah, you got to be chronically online sometimes.
Chronically?
Yes. I mean, it's the truth. But y'all, you got to learn the algorithms. You got to make your short form videos. You got to do your long form. You got to do it all. So make sure you're utilizing platforms like Streamladder. That's how you edit down your clips in about 1 minute. You can crop it, and it'll show you the TikTok format, Instagram Reel format, the short format. Use Streamladder. I use it. It's amazing. But yeah, you just got to make short form videos and learn how to be a storyteller in all the content you make. Every piece of content you make should be a story from the beginning to the end. So utilize short form, utilize YouTube. YouTube is underrated. YouTube, you can go live, you can do short videos and long form. So make sure you are on YouTube. If you are going to be on Twitch too, that's fine. But make sure you are utilizing YouTube. And what else? Oh, have a Discord community. Oh, yeah. That's like the best way to engage with your community. I have community members that are in there every single day. Even if they're driving to work, they'll join Discord to talk with us. If they're on their way to an appointment, or if we're just playing games, watching anime, utilize Discord. It's free, all right? You can customize it how you want it to be, and that's how you build that community.
Just be universal in content. Don't limit it to one thing. Like you said, you have YouTube, you have all these certain things that you can put your stuff on, so just put it everywhere. It could be the same content, just put it everywhere so everyone can see it.
Yeah, the same clip can be posted on all platforms.
Yes. Repurpose. I love that. So I have time for one more question, and this one has to be a quick one. If you had to start from scratch today, what would be your strategy for growing a following?
I hate that question. I really do. Because I feel like if I say it, it's going to sound like it's so easy, because it's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not easy. And it's like, you have to be open to being flexible and changing the way that you do stuff. Like, you cannot be set in your mind, like, I'm going to wear pink hair every day. If the pink hair ain't working, try purple. Like, you got to try something else. Maybe it's not giving. Like, if the stream still got 2 viewers, you got to figure out something else. But I don't know. Like, I would probably just do exactly what I'm doing now, which is like posting a lot. Like, I post like 3 times a day, and just posting everything that I can, from trending stuff to things that I think is cool. And then once I see what hits, like if like I say my average videos is at 200 views, the moment I see one that goes 1,000, I'm doing that same thing again in different ways, and then seeing if that works. And just, yeah, so that's what I would do.
That's dope. I would say collaboration. Like, you know, if you find other, you know, creators that are doing something similar to you, then like y'all team up. You know, like everybody likes to team up. Then your people that are watching you, the people that are watching them, then y'all are like swap audiences, you know? So collaboration, I think, is what I would do, you know? Yeah.
Being my authentic self, because I tried to be something I wasn't when I first started. I would not curse, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. And then I turned 21 and it all changed. But just start off being yourself. Again, like I said earlier, you don't want to be a copy of somebody else. So just have fun, do you, and keep it pushing.
This is something I wish I would have did, but I kind of had already a following going into content creation. But do QR codes. Honestly, QR codes are the greatest thing ever because it's not difficult to get to a whole website off of them. So just put a QR code somewhere, get 50 stickers or something with a QR code, stick it somewhere, and then just like right under the QR code be like, what is this? Don't click this QR code. People will be like, I'm going to click the QR code. I'm going to click the QR code. And the next thing you know, it's going to be like to this, to this, to that. And next thing you know, you're already there. Like, people are just going to look at it. You can post it anywhere. People are going to see it.
I love that. Thank you guys so much. This was a great panel. Did y'all have fun? All right. Well, Christina, back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiana. That was absolutely amazing. And listen, I've been learning. Did y'all get something from this amazing panel? If you got something, make some noise. My girl over here, she was snapping like, yes, I did. What about those, like, anybody know how to do with those TikTok dances? What is the one that go like, no? Wait, how do you, you gotta do, you gotta show me. No, you gotta come right here and show me. Okay, bow, ooh. Okay, ooh, that looked really nice. Okay, so you gotta do it like this, so. Oh, okay, I missed the part when I do like that, right? Okay, so it's. Okay, I'm gonna learn it. Look, I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna figure out how to do it because y'all doing it really, really good. All right, so listen, as a reminder, all the guests in the audience today, you guys are invited to meet our panelists, okay, for a networking lunch. And how many of y'all like lunch? Everybody hands up, okay. All right, so when you get to lunch after this session, y'all, make sure you guys connect with all of our amazing panel. That is a way that you can network, you can engage with the panelists, get some more information. So if you guys have questions about, okay, how do I do these TikTok dances? How do I actually build my social media following? What steps did we take to get to that moment? Please make sure in this networking luncheon that you guys connect with all of our amazing panels, okay? Okay? All right, so right now, let's welcome Joey Camus, he has a special invitation for guests in the building here today. Joey, what's happening?
Hey guys, I'm going to be over here working with the Kickback community to design a sneaker in virtual reality. So come by the booth, give me your suggestions, and kind of be part of the process. And we will have a final design reveal toward the end of the night. Thank you.
Oh, that is fire. How many of you guys like dope sneakers? Everybody raise their hands like, yes. All right, so listen, we're gonna take a very, very quick break. So please stay tuned. If you're here with us, we need y'all to stay right here inside of the entertainment and sports arena. We'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Kevin James, and I'm president of Morris Brown College. We found out that less than 1% of leadership in the field of esports were people of color.
We want to, bring more diversity of thought so that the industry gets better, so that the output gets better, and so that what we do for our audience is as resonant as possible.
And so I said, wouldn't it be fabulous for Morris Brown to become the first historical black college to have a degree in esports. And we created a curriculum for global business and applied leadership with a concentration specifically in esports leadership, esports performance. We want to make sure that we are a funnel, that we are a direct pipeline of future leaders in the esports space. You're going to learn about business. You're going to learn about all of the behind the scenes to really be an entrepreneur.
The program was a real eye-opener. Since the beginning of the program to the end, it's like, okay, we need you to do this. We're gonna teach you how to do it, but everything is completely up to you.
More people watch esports than they watch the Super Bowl. And so it just is a testament of how big the industry is and how big of an opportunity it is. We create this pipeline where students can go out into the world and compete.
We recognized just in different discussions we had with universities and other partners like community that there was this kind of misunderstanding in underrepresented minority communities about the esports industry from a career perspective, in that parents mostly just thought that the only way to like have a job in esports is to be a professional gamer.
My name is Darrell Booker. I'm with Microsoft Philanthropies and I lead racial equity work designed to bring tech to the black community all across the country. I got introduced in tech and gaming by just getting that first computer. I was learning basic levels of coding, and for me that just sparked that interest, and from there it just really took off. We need more of our young people actually creating these games. All aspects of it. There's graphic design, there's music, there's production, there's QA, all of these things. We won't have diversity in gaming until we are actually behind the scenes creating these games.
The community that I got was completely life-changing. What I left with was so important. It's stuff that I'm going to use for the rest of my life.
And I think the biggest thing is just demystifying the fact of how hard it is to even gain the skills to be in that industry. We just got to get this stuff in front of our young boys and girls so that they can compete and be a part of this industry too.
I've always wanted to work in video games and just in the entertainment industry in general, but getting there always seemed a bit difficult. So to have this opportunity really changed my life.
Community is doing a great job of providing all those foundational transferable skills. Their platform that they're building around education is really allowing young people to see themselves in this gaming space. They're giving them the tools that they need to be able to build up their confidence at an early age to be in the gaming industry. Making the partnerships that they're doing amazing things like this Kickback.
Welcome to the 2022 launch for the Kickback.
They really set an example for other people to follow.
All right, welcome back to the Kickback powered by Xfinity. I know you guys are excited to be here. I am excited. Listen, our mission at the Kickback is to keep the conversation open for making fresh opportunities for minorities in the video gaming universe. All right, so listen, we got to shout out all of our amazing sponsors, Microsoft and Xfinity. Connect to more of what you love with reliable internet from Xfinity. How many of y'all got Xfinity internet? Make some noise. Woo-woo! I love it. All right, we also got to shout out all of our community partners. Blurred, Text Giving, UNCF, District E, Beatbotics, Howard University, and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Beta Chapter. Thank you guys so much for helping making this happen. All right, so listen, our next panel dives into the crossover between sports, music, entertainment, and gaming. Do I have any gamers out here in the building? What about all my people that love sports? Okay, what about my people that love music? Oh, yeah, I love it. All right, so to steer this discussion, please welcome back our very own Tiana Denise.
Hey guys, we're back. And this panel again is talking about the crossover, the intersection of sports, music, and entertainment in gaming. So I'm gonna start to my right, and if you could just introduce yourself and just give everybody a little bit about what you do.
I am Natasha Jones, and I lead events, experiences, and marketing. And I do that in a couple of ways. One is with Amazon Music as the senior events and experiential manager for artist content. And also with my own company, Run Girl. We're a digital media and events platform for Black women runners.
Love that.
Is this on? Hey y'all, my name is Ambre. I work for an agency called Creative Artist Agency, and I lead our social impact division. So we work with athletes, creators, musicians, culinary people, podcasters, digital media folks, and we help them find ways to scale their craft and make more money.
Hi everybody, I'm Keisha Boyd. I am Vice President of Entertainment Emerging Products at Comcast Xfinity. I'm excited to be here with you all today and have this great chat with the panel. My job is, easiest way to describe it is, I get to focus on the parts of entertainment that go beyond movies and TV shows. So I get to think about what else do you all use to define what entertains you, like gaming, for example, or shopping, and all those sorts of fun pieces. So excited to be here.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? My name is Max Levazour. I am currently a talent acquisition professional. My goal is to match people with their dream jobs and teach the youth about how you can break into industries that's hard to break into, like gaming.
Awesome. So let's jump right in. So the esports arenas are selling out like major sports stadiums, like this. So do you think esports could someday outshine traditional sports in terms of just entertainment value?
Yeah, I believe that esports will get there because this generation has a connection with esports. Not the same connection that our generation had with traditional sports, but I believe one day that it will get there and be on the same playing field as traditional sports.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the lines between sport and entertainment are becoming so blurred. Esports provide an opportunity for people who are connected to a game or connected to a team from all over the world to come together around a common goal. In real life, you wouldn't be able to, in real time, experience all of the fandom that comes along with a sport, with a fan in another country. So I think it has the potential to create new spaces in the gaming world. Whether it replaces real life games, I think is to be determined, but it's certainly something that we're seeing a lot of interest in.
I would agree. I think fandom is a good word that she used, and that's where you're really seeing that crossover between music fans, gaming fans, sports fans. Is those things intersect because it's a part of your culture, it's a part of what you like, and so we're seeing those fandoms intersect, and that's why they're only going to keep growing.
I love that. So what do you think about virtual concerts and games like Fortnite? Do you think that these kinds of events are in the future of like music performances? Do you think that it can go there?
I would say that yes, and, right? I think streaming is what's really taking things to the next level. Streaming provides a level of access for those who can't be in the audience in real life, in real time, you know what I mean? So you're able to watch your favorite artist perform right there in your living room. And I think the gaming aspect is just adding an interactive element, and that's what you're going to want to see more of, is people wanting to be able to interact directly during the shows. How do we scale it? How do we make it cool? How do we gamify it? So,
Yeah, and I would add, I think what's great about entertainment is it can meet you sort of where you are. And I think a lot of companies are starting to pay attention to that, where the consumers are, and delivering entertainment, you know, where they are. So for example, the example that you gave in terms of concerts inside of, Fortnite or whatever the game might be, that was an example of let's go to where the fan base is and bring them music and a different experience that they might not have consumed before. And it was a hit, right? So I would imagine you'll probably see more of that in the future, and more of, companies, trying to understand how people are consuming, where they're consuming, and looking to bring entertainment to where they are.
Yeah, I think that concerts inside of platforms like Fortnite or Roblox are something we're going to see more of. When Travis Scott did his concert at Fortnite, that was sort of the big aha for a lot of artists, a lot of sponsors, and a lot of venues on, frankly, new ways to make revenue. And so I think as we identify new opportunities for artists, venues, and the streaming platforms to create revenue, we'll see more of it. What I will say is, so those concerts don't replace like the vibe that you get at real concerts, and so you're still gonna have what I think is more of a hybrid of artists going on tour traditionally, and then also using platforms like Fortnite to connect with audiences in markets where they wouldn't be able to have a tour, where there isn't an arena that they can sell out. So I think we'll see more of a hybrid, and as long as people like you all are interested in attending, the artists are gonna continue to do it.
I know my son loved it when it was in Fortnite. Like, he was on time, and he's not even a fan of hip hop. So, like, that was a shocker to me. He was like, Travis Scott is performing. Like, I kind of heard about it. And then it was more about the connectivity with his friends. And I think that's what Fortnite, Roblox provides. It's like that space where you can hang out with people that you game with and participate in an event together. And sometimes you can't do that in real life.
Agreed, thank you. So how has the rise of streaming changed the way that people think about both gaming and traditional sports?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is, understanding that streaming movies and TV shows and all your favorite content is, coming through the same technology that's powering your gaming, right? And I know at Xfinity, our internet and connectivity is really important for us and paramount for us in terms of delivering fast, reliable internet that helps power all the different types of entertainment that people like to consume. So I think that consumers are smart about, what products and services you need in your home and how you want to consume, what you want to consume, and more of that kind of convergence, right? Bringing together the music, the movies, the TV shows, the gaming, and making it easier for folks to discover what's new, to access what they already love, and to do it in a way that feels seamless. And I think streaming brings that.
Yeah.
I really like what you said earlier about meeting people where they are, and I think it's really cool from a industry perspective as well, because the layer that streaming adds is a whole new field of jobs, right? Like, if you want to work in sports but maybe you're not athletic yourself, right? You might be a great programmer or a coder or a marketer. That's a new layer of the industry that you could think about getting into, and that streaming sort of opened up a whole nother let's say, portion of the industry that you have to kind of maneuver in.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you said. I think the other side of that coin is streaming creates more access, equity, and visibility into spaces of sport that otherwise you wouldn't be able to watch. I'm a big women's sports fan, specifically basketball, and back in the day, you had to go to a special channel, you had to pay for it, you had to really be a fan of the sport in order to watch it. And now we're entering into a new era of women's sports because of streaming, because it's so accessible. So now you can just go to your phone, go to your iPad, or wherever you watch content and just watch whatever your favorite sport is. And so what that means for the athletes is there's more revenue for them there, right? They can make the case on why they should have the same purse as male athletes. So I think it's great for jobs, but I think it's also great for the athletes who are frankly as good as the male athletes, but didn't always have as many eyes on them when they were playing.
I think it's key for exposure, like y'all are saying. You have it right in the palm of your hand. You can watch it immediately. You can airplay it to something. So there's that accessibility piece where you give the opportunity for new jobs in that market, and there's a lot of streaming platforms. Like back in the day, the key networks, you only had 4 networks. Now you have probably tens of thousands streamings that you can go and watch your favorite content creator. You can watch whoever your person is and watch whatever sport you want to watch.
Love that, thank you. So I had a special question come from the audience, and this one is specifically for Keisha Boyd. How are Comcast and Xfinity adapting to the ever-changing entertainment space?
Yeah, well, I think you started to touch on it there, right? For us, it's about understanding our consumers and what defines entertainment for them, right? And, you know, I think I like to say that we're in a great spot because we not only, you know, develop the content, so whether it's our brands like Peacock or NBC or Universal Studios, but we also deliver the content through our pipes, right? So between the content, the platforms, and our connectivity, we're sort of, you know, finding ways to kind of bring all that together and maximize what's available to consumers so you can personalize your experience, right? You want to watch movies, you want to watch TV, you want to get into music, you want to create music, you want to connect with other people, you want to game with like a high performing network, like anything that you want to do. Our job is about how do we understand the consumption habits of consumers and sort of bring that together. We even, you know, there's a part of our content strategy where we focus on, you know, targeted segments, right? So getting an understanding of what youth culture is into, what Black culture is into, Latino culture is into, and delivering content experiences or entertainment that helps to serve that. We launched a channel just a couple years ago called The Black Experience, which was really all about celebrating emerging Black content creators and helping them to create content that we could license that centers Black culture and identity. So again, it's about tapping into what your customers want, what consumers want, and then evolving your portfolio of services and your products to be able to deliver that.
Thank you. Yeah. Now, how important is networking in the gaming industry, and what approaches would you recommend for building connections with influential figures?
I think networking is one of the most important things that you can do. Without your network, it shows like your net worth. The people that you meet will in some way, shape or form, create an opportunity for you sometimes. So your goal is to meet those people, get close to them, and LinkedIn's one way that you can get close to them. Social media is other ways like Instagram, Twitter, and you can just send them a genuine message and be authentic, be your true self when you reach out to them, and they'll probably back out to you.
I would say it's about how you network too, because a lot of people think networking is like getting someone's number and then asking them to help you. And a lot of times, people who are very busy and could actually help you, and maybe they want to help you, they don't have the bandwidth to do that immediately. And so a lot of times it's just about getting to know that person, asking them, what do you have going on? What projects are you working on? I might not be able to help you today, but a month from now when an opportunity comes up, I might remember that person that I've met that works on this particular thing. I can connect them to someone else that I know, et cetera. And so I really think networking is important to every industry, to be clear, not just gaming and streaming. But I think it's about how you network, and it's a little bit of an art to it. You got to finesse a little bit. But I highly recommend like just introducing yourself and getting to know someone before you go in for that ask.
Yeah, and I would add plus on all of that. But I think in addition to networking with people who are in positions that you want to be in, network amongst yourselves as well, Amen. Right? Like you all are really the ones that are setting the stage for what's next. So build connections based on your passions with people in your cohort, people in your school, people on your team, people in your neighborhood, because those are the authentic connections that are going to take you through to your career. Like to this day, the people who I count on the most are the people that I went to high school and college with. Like those are the deepest relationships that I have because they were built on a shared passion. So I'd say definitely find mentors and coaches and people to help you navigate the industry, but network amongst one another and figure out what you can do together so that you can create something for yourself.
That's right. And the only thing I would add to that is attend events like the one you're at today, right? Make the most of this time that you're here and the people that you're meeting. And then as you start to look at your list, whether it's your peers or individuals in roles that are at other companies that you're interested in meeting, look to see where they might be speaking. Are they going to be on a panel? Show up to that thing so that you're coming to that first, coaching, mentoring conversation with some substance, right? I saw you speak about that thing. It was really interesting. And then you have something to make that LinkedIn introduction, right? That is grounded in a real connection that you made with them.
I love that. I really love when you said that you have to be careful on how you network, because a thin line, it can sound like needing, right, and not networking, and just asking for favors. So I love that. Thank you.
No, and what she was saying about networking across is so important.
That too.
I would say in the history of my career, like it's definitely been my peers that have supported me the most, and then that gets you in those other places to meet even more people.
And you never know where they're going to end up either, and yourself too. So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. This is the last question, and this is for someone who loves sports, music, and gaming. What's the best way to turn those passions into a career? I saw the head turn. The head tilt back. That means you're thinking about it.
The best way to turn that into a career is find the avenues that are available. Just because you love sports, music, and gaming doesn't mean there's not opportunities for you to do something in the business department, the HR department, tech, like cybersecurity. There's so many jobs in these industries where you get to work, like marketing, for instance. Like each of these industries have these facilities and these functions, and you need to find those other jobs because sometimes you can't be the sports player. Like I was 5'3" in high school, so I never could imagine becoming a basketball player, but I loved basketball. And to see Michael Jordan play when he played with the Wizards, it was just an amazing experience. So like those are the things that can get you into those careers, and I think that's how you can do it.
Yeah, and I think it's also about being clear on what it is you bring to the table. What's your secret sauce, right? What's the thing that you do that no matter what job or what role you inhabit, you're going to bring value to that, right? Understand that, and then bring that to whatever industry you're trying to break into. Because whether it's, for example, if you're someone who likes to innovate, you're a strong project manager, you're great with organizational skills, so on and so forth, you're going to package up yourself, right, as a value add to whatever that company is, and then you work your way. Once you get into the company, then you work your way towards the job that you want to get. Your first job might not, most likely will not be, your dream job. Some people have that experience, but most don't. You have to kind of work your way there. And as you're working your way there, you're going to learn what you're great at, what value you bring, what your strengths are, and you'll be able to hone that even more critically so that then you can start to really spotlight, okay, which job is the thing I really want to go for in gaming. Maybe I'm not the coder, maybe I'm not the, fill in the blank, but I can do this really, really well. How does that show up in the gaming industry? I could do this really, really well. How does that show up in music and movies and TV and that kind of thing? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I think somebody told me one time that your career is what you're made for and your passion is what you're paid for. And so I think sports, gaming, and entertainment, those are categories, right? Those aren't jobs. You have to figure out at the intersection of what you're passionate about, what you can get paid for. And sometimes that's on stage, sometimes that's backstage. Sometimes you can be the artist, sometimes you can be the athlete, sometimes you're the person that's working alongside them, but it's your passion, right? I work with a ton of athletes. I am not an athlete myself, but my job is helping them figure out how they can do amazing things in their community to leave it better than they found it. And that's my passion. It's in sports, but it's not sports related. And so I think the thing that you have to figure out at this stage in your career is what your distinct passion is and the perspective that you have at that intersection that allows you to do your job better than, different than everyone else. And the doors will start to unlock there because you're pursuing your passion and not just a job.
I would say two things, similar to what she was saying, that don't be afraid to go around to get through. I went to undergraduate school for journalism, and I quickly learned that they didn't pay what I thought they were going to pay. And so I moved into marketing. I worked in higher ed, automotive, et cetera, and now I've landed in marketing in the music industry. But ultimately, I focused on each time I found a new job, what part did I like the most about that job, and how can I do more of that? And that helped me move closer and closer to a place where I'm really excited to go to work every day. The other thing I would say is don't be afraid to start something different yourself. I'm an entrepreneur. Me and my 5 fellow co-founders co-founded Run Girl because we saw a gap in the industry. We looked at media and looked at publications about running and things, and we did not see black women on the covers of those magazines and on those media stories. And so we decided to start something ourselves. And I think that's also an avenue. It's not an easy avenue, but I think if it's something you feel passionately about and it doesn't exist, you should also not be afraid to create something new.
Thank you guys so much. This was super informative. Did you guys have a good time? Did you learn something? All right, cool. Christina, back to you.
All right. Look, y'all can make some more noise for him. Make some noise. All right, I love it. Listen, we're going to take a really short break. And of course, hold on. Before I even move, can we give this panel another amazing round of applause? That's the energy that I like. Yes, yes. Thank you guys so much, and thank you so much, Tiana. All right, so we're gonna take a really quick break, another quick break. So while you're taking your break, shake your legs out. I know y'all been sitting down for a hot little minute. Shake it on out. But we do have more to come. Our final panel features a unique perspective of innovation in the DMV community. So that's y'all community, the DMV. Do I got any DMV people in the building? Oh, like 3? Like 4, where are my DMV people at? Make some noise. Okay, there we go. That's the energy that I like. All right, the Kickback, powered by Xfinity. We'll be right back. Okay.
I was behind the 8 ball on gaming because I spent a couple years, working on my music, working on my video, my acting, all that. So when I started to get the millions of followers, I rewarded myself with allowing myself to game again. And once I did that, I realized I could professionally do that as a part of my career. Appreciate y'all being here. We're gonna play some Apex Legends. I thought you had to be insanely good. However, nowadays, if you're gaming with personality, that can set you apart from so many different people. Gaming and streaming is becoming such an essential part to entertainment these days. People in the chat. You're always going to hear that there needs to be more diversity corporately in the gaming world. Economically, gaming is not cheap. You know the PlayStation 5, $500, like it's a lot. Game is with experience, and if you're not able to practice at an earlier age or for long durations of time, that can set you back, behind the 8 ball. If you don't play football early enough, you're losing out on that experience. So I think that gaming economically, the Black culture, needs kind of like help and assistance to be able to compete at the mass level. To be a successful player, you have to see it as a job. When it comes to gaming and the repetitions, Black people are not afraid to work hard, and that's really all that's required to be successful in gaming. You see how much money they're throwing at these players for these tournaments? 100K, 200K, you better work. It's really cool to be in the community that is paying kids to show up and be on stream and being promoted and out there, being paid to play. I couldn't imagine being paid to play 2K when, that's what I do just to relax. So it's just a great opportunity. Well, what's up? I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
Love to game? With Xfinity, you can upgrade your speed to keep slaying zombies like it's your day job.
It is my day job.
Upgrade your internet speed for the ultimate gaming experience. Bring on the good stuff.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Kickback powered by Xfinity. Y'all, we are in for a special treat, our final panel of the day. Please welcome Tiana and the panelists to the stage.
I don't blame him one
We lost the keys to the gaming lounge.
What's up, y'all? We're back. This is the final panel. Did you guys have fun? I hope you learned something, and this panel is going to be super exciting. This is talking about innovation in the DMV community. So I'm going to start to my right with somebody that you may or may not know, but could you just introduce yourself and give a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Ryan Johnson. I'm one of the founders of Community Media and also our CEO, and also one of the managing partners of the Kickback. So honestly, I want to first and foremost say thank you for everybody that came. Thank you to all the schools. Literally, we know that this is a school day, so we're just really excited to finally bring this opportunity to somewhere outside of Metro Atlanta, and we're really pleased to be here this afternoon.
I'm Andrew McNeil. I'm the Vice President of Esports at Monumental Sports and Entertainment here in DC. So I oversee our esports programs, the NBA 2K League, Team Wizards District Gaming, our Caps Gaming NHL esports programming, our esports programming at District D, our esports facility right next to Capital One Arena.
Hey guys, I'm Jasmine Maeda. I'm an ex-pro basketball player turned entrepreneur, the founder of Round 21, where we prioritize self-expression in sports. Really excited to be here at the Kickback with all of you because tomorrow all of Round 21's WNBA products that you can wear are now in the game. So that's exciting for us to now be a part of your community.
Love that.
And my name is Lance Wesson. I am the Director of Business Development Sales for Events DC. Events DC is the sports and entertainment authority for Washington, D.C. So any event, entertainment or sports-wise that comes into the district, my company has a hand in it. So you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. So the first question is, what makes the DMV region unique when it comes to innovation? Anyone?
Sure, I'll start. It's even interesting, as I mentioned, our company, we're all based down in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're able to come up here this week for the Kickback, but I grew up in Columbia, Maryland for the most part, and it's funny enough, in preparation for this panel, I was actually doing some thinking like, what is innovative, especially when we talk about gaming, and what I remember is that my mom, when I was in like 7th or 8th grade in Columbia, Maryland in 2007, there was this place in Columbia called Cyberden. And what Cyberden was a gaming lounge like District E, about 17 years ahead of its time. And I remember we used to get dropped off here, me and my friends in middle school, high school, and we used to stay here for hours and play all of our favorite games. But even then at the time, we didn't know anything about the gaming industry, right? And so even when I think back about what is innovative about the DMV, I think back about the entrepreneur who created Cyberden. Unfortunately, the business didn't last because he was so far ahead of like gaming and mainstream. But it's been a huge part now when I think about why I started Community, and I was like, what gave me the insight or the idea? A lot of it goes back to my upbringing here in the Maryland area, being around sports, being around music, being around culture, but having that Cyberden connection specifically, I think is what really gave me some insight to go down this route of gaming as well.
I think the other thing too is there's so many universities in the area. There's so many people who are born and raised in the DMV, but also people coming from outside of the DMV to come to some of these universities. The age profile of the city, the general area is so young. I think DC, Arlington, a lot of these areas have some of the highest percentage of millennials in the country. And like these are the people who have sort of the creative ideas, the ability to take risks in all the ways that a lot of other folks do and a lot of other communities don't have.
I would say there's so much to discover. I was fortunate to spend 6 years at Under Armour leading marketing, and the Baltimore area has such a vibrant creative energy source. DC is this melting pot of government and innovation through creativity and culture, and the sports entities here are often a really strong energy center as well. So there's so much to discover, and I would say DMV is an opportunity to find new tribes and find new places to create and connect, unlike a lot of other cities where it's a little bit more in your face. And so to me, that continues to keep this innovative spirit of inspiration because you never know what's around the corner.
Yeah, literally everything they just said. As Andrew mentioned, I'm actually a transplant. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, but I moved out here after college, and it was a culture shock. DC or the DMV area just has its own culture, its own everything. All of you know about go-go music. If you go anywhere in the world, that points directly back here to DC. So, and they're proud and they stand on that. So, the DMV is, stands on creating their own culture and being innovative in every way they can.
Thank you. So what are some of the issues or challenges facing the DMV community, and how can innovation help to solve them?
I would say reputation. I think when you think of innovation or you see places on a map like San Francisco or New York or even Los Angeles, you think of tech and fashion. And the District of Columbia or Maryland or Virginia, at first glance, their definitions don't necessarily stick with innovation, but I see that as a huge opportunity to create our own culture of innovation. And there are so many opportunities to co-create with people. I mean, this panel, as an example, we were backstage talking about what we're doing and what he's doing and how there can be synergies. I think starting with what's your story when you're out and about is a new way to build together, which I think has an opportunity here in the DMV that other cities may not.
You know, I think one thing that's it's more of a now problem, but just within the current climate of the economy, I think access to capital is kind of difficult. I mean, I think we saw that the Fed lowered interest rates yesterday, which hopefully will help in that. But it's still an issue for folks who are trying to, get a startup off the ground and that sort of thing. But I think there's still opportunities to innovate within maybe larger corporations. Like I've never had to raise funds for a startup. I've never had to bootstrap or anything like that. But I've done a lot of creating new products, new ventures within larger companies. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing with esports at Monumental. So, there's opportunities even within some of those difficulties.
Yeah, I can definitely say the raising capital stuff is not that fun. But as far as, I'll say challenges, and I'll take a step back and, look at gaming and esports specifically, a lot of it comes down to capital and access, right, to the right infrastructure to actually participate. When we look around a lot of the schools that we work with, HBCUs, K through 12 alike, a lot of them have students that are interested. They have students that want to pursue these careers. But then when you start to realize that there is a pretty significant dollar amount attached to be able to starting a program within gaming, to hire someone full time to then manage that program. So we're always trying to find and create avenues or, opportunities for people to come together to then maybe find the motivation, maybe meet someone that they didn't know that could actually help them take that next step. I know Andrew said the word District E a few times up here, but how many people actually know that at the Capital One Arena that there's a gaming lounge that's owned by the Washington Wizards? Right, and I think that those are the type of points that we want to drive home because we're here today. District E is here the rest of the year, right? And they're doing programming in the community. And so for us, it's about the biggest challenge for us is just lowering the barrier of entry, and like finding continuous ways and partnerships to do that and just create opportunities for everyone around.
We've got a table up on the concourse there too, so come by, swing by, say hi, and check out the facility.
Okay, so. Let's talk about new technology. So what new technology do you think will have the biggest impact on this community in maybe let's say the next 5 years?
I'll jump out there and just say AI.
Absolutely.
Artificial intelligence, and that could be for the better or for the worse. I mean, I know back when we were all in school and you had a 10-page paper that you had to write, you were sitting there with your pen and paper or in front of your computer writing that 10-page paper. Now you could just tell your phone, hey, write me a paper about innovation in Washington, D.C. And in a matter of seconds, you have your homework done. But I feel like there's a positive and a negative to that because you actually lose the skills to do the work yourself because you're so reliant on, technology to do the work. I'm sure that we've all been in the grocery store, heard a horror story about being in the grocery store, and nowadays these cash registers, they spell out the amount of change that the person is supposed to give you. If your change is $11.55, it says give them one $10 bill, one $1 bill, and the change. We've all been in the grocery store to where the system might be down and the person behind the register has no idea how to give me back my change. I feel like that's a negative side of technology. So you really, it can be used for good or for evil, as most things.
The AI point is really interesting, and I think Lance is right. I think that could be a big thing in the future. I mean, especially thinking about video games and game design. I think that could speed up a lot of processes in game design and development and create a lot of efficiencies that people can take advantage of. I mean, right now I'm playing Astrobot and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. But that was a game that was made by 30 people or 60 people in a 3-year period, and it's a AAA title. It's kind of rare nowadays, and so I think tools like AI may help things like that become more common, where games like that can be created by smaller teams on smaller budgets.
Yeah, and so to just give a different perspective, because I do think actually AI is going to be the next thing. That's there now, right, to their point. And honestly, it was just last week we're at Microsoft. Shout out to Darrell. I know he spoke a little earlier. And I actually went through my first Copilot training and my mind was blown away, right? Just about the functionality and what can happen. But what I think honestly is going to be huge for younger generations is going to be the democratization of game design. So an example is Unreal Engine Fortnite, right? Which actually allows users, young kids, to make their own custom levels inside of Fortnite, and then young people can actually make money off of their friends playing on their level. So this is something that started about a year ago, and there are young groups that we work with throughout the country, specifically in Atlanta. I mean, you're talking about high school, college kids that are making 5 figures a month off of doing something that they already do with their peers. So, for young, I heard that Fortnite was a conversation earlier. You all should definitely look into UEFN. Right, it's the future. It allows you today to go home, make custom levels. There is some developmental processes, but it's YouTube University, right? So this is where it all starts to compile upon itself. But I think for real, the democratization of game studios is you're gonna see a lot more indie titles and a lot more people making games, especially games that are not always represented by AAA studios.
I would just add that I think AI as well, and for this audience, it's really a question of how do you separate yourself as you're going into your career, where AI is not a substitute for what you have. So AI can help you be, for sure, smarter, faster, more capable in so many ways. You're going to be sitting looking for internships or jobs in any industry, and you're going to need to be able to point to something that specifically you bring that also AI can't replicate. So a lot of that comes from what you're passionate about and how you see the world. So those are things as you're thinking about building a career. AI has the capacity to help you get better, smarter at the things you care about, but it can't actually direct you to what you care about.
I love that. So AI is of the future. So let's talk a little bit about startups. So there's tons of new startups that are happening in the DMV area, but what advice would you have for our audience members who have big ideas but don't know where to start?
So I'll start. I'm a startup entrepreneur. I have lots of big ideas, sometimes too many big ideas. But I would say the first thing to think about is what are you solving for? And it doesn't need to be some big question, but if you have a problem, you can't get the peanut butter jar open, you can't find a female avatar in the game you love, you can't, whatever it is, what are you solving for is the first thing to try and answer, even if you're the only consumer for it. From there, I would get tinkering, start, build. People talk about minimum viable product. People talk about I have to have 1,000 true fans. Just start. You never know where it could lead. Round 21 was started as a brand that was blending art and sport, but we started with ping pong. And now we have partnerships with the WNBA, the MLS. We have huge partnerships with people like Tiana. Check her out on YouTube and Instagram. She's an amazing singer, which is also a creative side of sports. But you never know where it's going to take you. So just making sure that you're solving for something and that you get going. It would be my advice.
I love that.
I would say I heard the last panel was touching on networking, the power of networking. So, again, I'm not from here. When I first moved out here, I didn't know anybody. So I had to be the person with my hand extended. Hey, my name is Lance. I do all of these great, amazing things. What do you do? Let me learn about you. Let me learn about DC and all the, the things that are there. So it's just engaging with people genuinely and just learning. Always being a sponge and, taking advice, positive advice from people that might know a little bit more than you.
My one piece of advice, and I haven't had a startup necessarily, but I would say start now, start young. I mean, I think I've got a wife, a mortgage, 3 pit bulls. Like I can't just cut out and start my own project right now. I think I've got folks counting on me. But when you start young, you've got plenty of time to recover if things don't go well, and you're going to learn a ton along the way.
Yeah, and I'll just add in, I think the first step is recognizing that you can be an entrepreneur. I think growing up, I thought an entrepreneur was like a special classification, or you had to check certain boxes before you could do. And I'll just share a short story. My first job in Columbia, Maryland, at the Columbia Mall was Foot Locker. So at the time, I didn't know that I was an entrepreneur, but I was buying and reselling sneakers, making a significant amount of money for a high schooler before StockX. But I didn't make that association, the fact that I was running a small business out of my room. You kind of fast forward, and now I understand, to everyone's point up here, you just have to start. There is no perfect time. There is no perfect moment. You literally have to make smart decisions, right, and make sure that you're not going to mess up your own life trying to pursue something. And one short story I also want to share, just as we were a startup now going on 5 years ago, Earlier today you all heard from Supreme Sensei. Ironically enough, talking about starting, we had just started now, early 2020. Supreme Sensei, Karima, was an intern at Events DC. And so what's interesting about this whole moment, Events DC, they own the venue, we're doing the kickback here, and now you all heard Karima's content journey, but we literally, when she was interning, we hired her right when she graduated college. She's worked, and now she's a full-time entrepreneur. And so just to even think about today, you all are witnessing some people that have literally turned their passions into a profession, but even for them, some it's short, some it's long, but it's about taking your time and making the decision when it makes the most sense.
I love that. And shouts out to Foot Locker. Yeah. So I started too. So this is the last question. And how can young people in the DMV connect with local innovators to get involved in the scene? And I know we talked a little bit about networking, but what else would you suggest?
I would say attending, events like this, the dope event like that we're at now, the Kickback, but just other things that you can, sit in the crowd and be a sponge and just hear from people that are actually potentially doing something that you want to do. Again, I go back to networking. I feel like your network, your network is your net worth. So it's literally, you don't know, how large or how wide of a net you can cast unless you start talking to people. For example, Ryan mentioned the full circle moment of, an intern that used to work for my company. Obviously Ryan and I are working together to bring this event here. Andrew and I literally used to work together, but now our companies are working together, and you and I need to have a conversation so we can figure that out too. But it's literally just networking and talking to as many people as you can.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say shout out to Lance. If he didn't respond via LinkedIn, we wouldn't be here today.
I would say in addition to very formal, organized events like this, every day is a chance to network. It is the same answer, but every day is a chance to network. And because of where you are in your life stage, the very simple question I think you could have in your back pocket is, how did you get started? And that could be to somebody who's well mature in their career. It could be somebody who just started something, but how did you get started helps align where you are in your journey with where they were, and there can always be a gem in there.
Absolutely.
And I think also volunteer for events, volunteer at MagFest, go to DreamHack, volunteer, it's a great way to, learn about events. You'll come across people who are working in the industry and, build those relationships and do it in a sort of a natural way and not just what can you do for me? It's developing those relationships with a long-term perspective, because I think that's when, as you develop those relationships, that's when the collaboration eventually comes.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. You guys gave a lot of information. I hope you guys learned something. Put your hands together. And we're going to go back to Christina.
Come on. Make some more noise than that. Yes. Oh, wait, what'd you say, friend? Oh, okay. I thought you said we love you. I was going to say I love y'all too. I've been working on my TikToks. All right, so listen, I want to thank all of our amazing panels and our amazing moderator. Can y'all give it up one more time for our amazing panels and our amazing moderator? Tiana Denise was holding it down all day long. All right, now all our guests here today are invited to join the part that y'all really been waiting for, the lunching networking session, okay? Yeah, they're like, yes! Y'all are excited for that. All right, at 1 o'clock, be sure to join us for the Kickback Cup as we dive into NCAA college football 25 gameplay. Yes. Yes. And later on tonight at 8, it is going down. It is a live concert right here at the Entertainment and Sports Arena featuring a slew of artists you don't want to miss, including Trap Sushi. Y'all make some noise. Yeah. Timothy Isaiah. And of course, Jig. Y'all are gonna turn up. Make sure y'all have y'all cell phones out because it's gonna be absolutely lit. All right, so you don't want to miss out on that. You want to make sure that you're here for that. So before we roll out to lunch, we need to thank all of our amazing brand partners, Microsoft and Xfinity. Xfinity is changing the game with ultra-fast internet and a smooth, low-lag connection. So shout out to Xfinity. And our community partners, Blurred, TextGiving, UNCF, District E, Beatbotics, Howard University, and Amplify Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Beta Chapter. All right, so y'all, this is the moment y'all been waiting for. It's lunchtime, okay? Y'all, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back at 1 p.m. for the Kickback Cup, powered by Xfinity.